Hey everybody, welcome to Unit 1. This video is going to be a brief introduction to the literacy narrative, which is the first essay we're going to write. So this week you're spending time reading 3 essays that are literacy narratives. These are the stories about how people learned to read and write and what that literacy means to them in their life. So you'll read about Sherman Alexie and his upbringing as a Native American and the importance of literacy and reading and writing in his life. You'll also read about Malcolm X's experience in prison and how he was self-taught and what that has done for him, as well as Frederick Douglass, who was able to escape from slavery and use his literacy to be a powerful force in our world. So oftentimes we take literacy in many of our lives for granted. Reading and writing is just what we've always done and what we teach our kids to do. But when we think about the importance of literacy and what that means and allows for us in our lives, we can start to examine just how powerful literacy is. And so this is an assignment where not only are you going to read about the stories of others and how they learn to read and write, but you're going to write your own narrative or your own story about learning to read and write. So when you think about the prompt, we're thinking about what is the role reading and writing played in your life. At one time, you couldn't read or write, and now you're in a college composition class. So how did you get here? What people, events, and literature shaped you as a writer? We want the details. We want the imagery. I want to meet those teachers. I want to see those books. I want to feel what it was like for you in the library for those first times. So this is a first-person nonfiction narrative, which means you're using I, me, my. This is a true story, nonfiction, of your experiences learning to read and write. The best way to piece together this narrative is to pick a few specific moments throughout your childhood and into your adulthood that have shaped you as a literate person. So rather than writing a summary, this happened, then this happened, next, after, later, then, we're thinking about really painting vivid pictures of those instrumental moments in your life, whether it was your mom reading a story to you every night before bed, or the first assignment you didn't do well on in high school. There's so many ways that are shaping us to be who we are today as literate people. So think about a few specific memories to share with us. If I scroll down through the assignment, you'll see that you'll use the essays by Douglass and Malcolm X and Sherman Alexie as food for thought, as ideas to get us going into our own stories. Sometimes I have students that call up a mom or a dad or an aunt or uncle to really start to remember those pieces of their early childhood literacy. So you'll see criteria and requirements there, and then on the second page, the rubric of what I'll be grading this on. And so because this is a narrative, which is a story, we're looking for setting, characters, plot, so events and actions, looking for details and descriptions. You want your reader to feel as if they were there with you in those moments. Okay, so oftentimes it's easy to summarize or skip through because you've got the whole story in your head. You were there. But remember, your readers were not there. And so it's really important that you really dig into those details and help us see and feel and hear and know the experiences that you had that shaped you into the literate person you are today. So this week you're reading those literacy narratives by a few famous authors, and then next week you'll be crafting your own literacy narrative. The reason why this week we want to read what others have written is, one, it helps provide a model, but also it helps us think about how did they use the details? How did they tell the story so powerfully? And so in this week's discussion board, you're going to pick out a favorite passage from each of those essays and really consider, what did the author do that made that so strong, that really packed a punch and stuck to you or with you after reading it, because those are the powerful writing strategies that we want to start including in our own writing. And so we use these as models to get ideas, but also as examples of how to improve our own writing. So a lot of what we'll talk about this semester is becoming better readers to become better writers. It's absolutely essential. And so that's what I hope you'll be thinking about this week as you read the essays and participate in the discussion board, as well as start to jot some ideas down, some memories and thoughts and questions for your own literacy narrative next week. See you online.